So we get to Calgary, and after the first period, I remember Guy Boucher coming to me and says, Hammy's coming out. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I think he gave up two, but they weren't his fault. He's like, no, he's out. I'm like, why are you pulling him? So I had a big argument with him. I'm like, why are you pulling him? He's like, no, he's hurt. I'm like, oh shit. So I go see Dreger, and Dreger, I'm like, Dreger in. And then at that point, I'm like, 3 games in, we've lost our number one and our number two. And then Craig calls me. He says, I'm coming back for Edmonton. I'm like, what are you doing? Nicole needs you. He's like, no, Nicole told me to go. And um, that morning, I'm like, what do you need? He's like, no video. I just need to feel some pucks, and I just want to get on the ice. I'm like, okay. And then he plays that game, and I've never seen a goalie play a game where it was pure emotions, and and I remember Rob Cookson with a minute and a half left in the game. We're up 3-0. He's like, okay, let's go. I'm like, no, I can't. Like, I got to see this to the end. Go down from upstairs. So, and then walking down in the locker room, and he's in tears, just in his stall, and it's just the pure emotion of a guy just giving everything he had. And obviously, after that game, he left home. But you play the game on emotions, but not that kind of emotions. And I think that game will always stay with me. Looking at Cam Talbot coming back to the bench and just applauding Craig, and just the emotions that we saw in the locker room come out of Craig. You never want your wife to have that kind of news, but for him to come back and play that way, it was incredible. So Boston was great. Don't get me wrong, clinching that was great, but that game, like, I still remember every moment of that game just as if it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And the only reason I bring up Boston is the win itself, but it's the hug with Nicole after in the stands. That's what makes me think of that game.
No, and of course the game was special. Nicole was there, and it's just, she was still, trying to get better and stuff like that. That game was good, but that Edmonton game, you never forget that.